Have you ever met someone who acts like they know everything? But the more they talk, the more obvious it becomes that they don't? What if I told you that some everyday habits, things people do without even realizing, might actually be quiet signs of low intelligence? Most people think intelligence is about grades, IQ tests, or how many books someone reads. But in real life, it's the small things, how someone speaks, reacts, listens, or refuses to listen, that reveal the truth. And today, we're going to expose those subtle habits that people ignore, but once you see them, you'll never be able to unsee them again. Let's be clear, this isn't about roasting people. It's about self-awareness. Because if these habits are hidden in your life, they could be holding you back more than you think. One of the biggest signs of low thinking isn't being dumb, it's being loudly confident while quietly wrong. You've seen it. The kind of person who argues about everything, even when they haven't checked a single fact. Psychologists call it the Dunning-Kruger effect, when knows so little that they don't even realize how little they know. Truly smart people question themselves, less intelligent people, they never do. But that habit shows up in small, everyday ways too. Like always needing to be right, always turning conversations into debates, or constantly interrupting because they're more focused on speaking than understanding. Listening is a sign of intelligence. Interrupting is a sign of insecurity pretending to be confidence. Another habit, blaming everyone except themselves. If something goes wrong, it's the teacher's fault, the boss's fault, the government's fault, the weather's fault, never theirs. Meanwhile, smarter people look at the same situation and ask, okay, what can I learn from this? Growth requires responsibility. Ego destroys it. Let's talk about gossip. Not just casual gossip, but people who feed on drama because thinking deeply is too much work. Ever notice how low-effort minds love high-drama conversations? Why? Because it's easier to talk about people than to understand ideas. Intelligent people focus on solutions. Unintelligent people focus on scandals. Then we have closed-mindedness. You show them a new idea and they reject it not because it's wrong, but because it's new. They'll say things like, that's just how I am, or I don't care. I know I'm right. Their mind is a locked room and anything unfamiliar gets thrown out. Meanwhile, smart people are curious. Even if they disagree, they're willing to listen. And this next habit is surprisingly common, making fun of people who try. You know the type. You start a business, they laugh. You go to the gym, they say, that won't last. You read a book, they joke, who even reads anymore? Why do they do this? Because your effort reminds them of their laziness. When someone insults ambition, it's usually because effort exposes their own lack of it. Let's go deeper. Scrolling all day, but never learning anything. Hours on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, but zero improvement. No new skills, no new thinking. Just constant consumption. This isn't just a habit, it's mental junk food. Smart people also use social media, sure, but they balance it with learning, reading, creating, thinking. Low intelligence isn't about not knowing, it's about not wanting to know. But here's the real problem. Most people don't see these habits as problems. That's why they stay stuck. That's why entire lives get wasted using their brain like it's optional. So how do you break out of this? Start by noticing. Not with judgment, but with honesty. Ask yourself hard questions like, do I always need to be right? Do I actually listen when people talk? Do I blame others more than I look at myself? Do I avoid learning because it makes me uncomfortable? These are hard questions, but they're how growth starts. Because here's the truth, intelligence isn't just what you know. It's how you think, how you react, and how willing you are to change. And the most intelligent thing anyone can do is stay teachable. Now, let's flip this. If those are the red flags of low intelligence, what are the quiet green flags of real intelligence? Number 1, curiosity. Smart people don't need to know everything, they need to understand it. They ask questions. They explore. They say, I don't know, teach me. Number 2, humility. They don't act like they're better than others. They know everyone they meet knows something they don't. Number 3, self-control. They don't let emotions make decisions that logic should. They pause, think, respond. Number 4, growth over ego. They'd rather learn than win an argument. And perhaps the rarest trait, changing your mind when you're wrong. Most people treat being wrong like it's a crime. Smart people see it as an upgrade. So here's the challenge. Before pointing fingers, take a mirror. Which habits live in you? Because at the end of the day, intelligence isn't fixed. You can be smarter next month than you are today if you're willing to do the uncomfortable work. The key moment is this. You can spend your life defending your flaws, or you can spend your life improving them, but you can't do both. So start with one thing. Maybe it's listening more. Maybe it's learning one new skill. Maybe it's admitting when you're wrong. Small steps, done daily, turn into big change. Because the goal isn't to look smart. The goal is to be smart quietly, consistently, without needing to prove it to anyone. Thanks for watching. I hope this opened your eyes, even just a little. Now, if you're ready to keep growing, the next video on your screen will take you even deeper.